Government of India has recently approved the Model Tenancy Act, which aims to reduce disputes between landlords and tenants and try to provide housing for all by tapping into the 1.1 crore vacant houses available that are not occupied for various reasons. Hello everyone, I am Faizan Haider from the Economic Times, and today we have with us Mr. Niranjan Hiranani, President Narratco, and Mr. Anshuman Magazine, Chairman CBRE, to decode the Model Tenancy Act. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. I would start this discussion with Mr. Hiranani. So could you please explain the key aspect of the Act and why was it needed?
Faizan, the real story, it goes like this. The Prime Minister wants housing for all, and under the PMAY scheme, he has planned to construct housing for sale for the affordable segment of 1.2 crore houses. The shocking part is there is 1.1 crore houses lying vacant in the country, which is unused and not given out to people. So you're actually, just by bringing in a law, doubling the amount of availability of housing, and which will go on affordable rent. So this law is a paradigm which is so innovative that it's unbelievable. Of course, there are issues. First of all, there are old rental houses in cities like Mumbai and other places. Plus, there is an issue that the states, which are non-BJP, have to approve this also. And there is also an issue to protect the old tenancies of people who are there. Fortunately, they have talked about this law being prospective. So at least that part of it is not controversial.
There's been a talk about reducing, housing for all for some years now. So one of the ways to get housing for all, it doesn't mean that everybody has to buy it. There is huge amount of migration which has been happening in our country from rural to urban areas and within urban areas, wherever there are jobs. So people come from small towns to major towns, from Delhi to Bombay, and where the jobs are. And a lot of these young people or people who are getting employed do not get access to quality housing or do not get access to housing which is affordable. So with this, it will give confidence to house owners to lease spaces out. So because they will feel secure that they can get it back. Because as you know, in our country, a lot of people who own apartments don't feel comfortable enough that if they rent the space out, will they get it back? We can't. And because the supply will come in, I'm hoping the rentals will remain competitive and affordable for people. So that will be the major impact.
Do you see developers launching exclusively rental housing projects because of the Act?
Only to some extent, because the fact is in India, the yield or the return on return on residential is very low. It's anywhere from 1 to 2.5% at the most, which is not a return enough for developers to construct and only for to rent. However, because of this act, more developers will be encouraged to at least do a mixed kind of a development. So, for example, they're doing a residential development. If they have 5 towers, they may still consider keeping 1 tower for rental because to catch the capital appreciation. Otherwise, there won't be a rush. But definitely because of this, more housing will be constructed for rental.
And Mr. Hiranani, you talked about the role of state government. So how important it is, because ultimately they have to implement the Act.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely important. The reason is that land is a state subject, and this regulation cannot be imposed only by the central government and has to be ratified or adopted to the various states. So this adoption can take place or cannot take place depending on the real reasons for which I don't think there's a problem. But there could be political reasons to oppose something which the BJP government at the center is doing. So I do feel that there may be some time gap in getting this adoption done, especially in non-BJP states. But I think that's only a matter of time, because the advantages of getting this act with some amendments for each individual state is something which is definitely going to happen.
And sir, like RERA had one flaw of the execution power. So do you think, government should have given execution power also in this fresh act?
No, certainly, but the only problem is, as always in India, we are a federally structured political system, and the states do play a major role. So I'm not sure how much can the center play a part. Till the time the states are not fully on board, and that's one of the reasons why even RERA has not been fully implemented because of the way our structure is.
That as far as the Model Tenancy Act is concerned, the redressal mechanism is already provided in terms of the rent court and the rent tribunal. Hence, and other civil courts have been banned from it. So there will be special courts to attend to this, and they are required to dispose of these cases within 60 days. So if the number of tenancies will come into operation, and there are separate tribunals only to handle this, not mix up with the rest of the RERA cases. So I think it will be even faster mechanism for it to be handled, because there will be separate judiciary taking care of the redressal mechanism in terms of tenancy.
But can people go to higher court if they think?
Yes, after that you can go to a higher court, which would be the High Court and Supreme Court, obviously, in terms of a residuary actor. But the thing is that it will be decided very quickly, and which normally does not happen in the other courts. So that is the positive story about the Model Tenancy Act as it is being framed. And of course, again, the state governments will have to appoint the judiciary and give them powers and do it quickly, something which did not happen in the RERA in the earlier stages in all the states. But we will see it in many states. And I think once the advantage of this law is seen by various people in terms of implementation, action, and availability of affordable homes, I think it will be implemented by everybody slowly but surely.